Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth. Welcome to this broadcast of the World Baseball Softball Confederation 2024 Under-23 Baseball World Cup. Tonight's matchup is between China and Great Britain. I'm Ryan Chen, and it's an honor to be here to commentate the action for you here from Shaoxing, China. After a very eventful opening ceremony, we also have a ceremonial first pitch where, we actually have an official that is a southpaw. Thankfully, he doesn't need to catch anything, wearing the right-handed glove. Or I guess glove on the right hand that's meant for a right-handed thrower. That's all right. As coming in to give an assist is the Great Britain catcher, Tucker Stockman. It's already been an eventful day as 4 games have been played already here at the U23 tournament for the first time coming to China. The starting lineups for the home Chinese squad, but they will be the away team today from top to bottom. They're on the screen. I will pronounce the names as much as I can in their international order. So it would be Zhu Dongzhu and Wen Bingxiang and Ming Shenzang, Yi Zhou, Huang Ganhou, Yu Yangli, Tian Yuanhu, and Shuai Wang, Hai Ruiwu, and Xiang Wang. But I do speak Mandarin, so it is a little bit of an adjustment. So please stick with me as we go along, as we're just about ready to see Great Britain take the field, and we can check out their defensive alignment. They'll be wearing the white jerseys, whereas the home Chinese squad will be wearing red. In this U23 tournament, they will be playing in 2 groups of 6, but before that, we'll get to the defensive alignment for Great Britain. They're on screen. From the outfield left to right, it'll be Ray Mercer, Jaquan Smith, and James Quinn Irons. And on the infield from left to right, Jake Lamboyne, Wallace Clark, Max Vera, Aiden Kane, and doing the catching will be the aforementioned Tucker Stockman. And on the bump, Oliver Duthie. Duthie's got quite a bit of resume actually at the collegiate level. They're wearing the number 7 jersey. He's already logged 110 inning pitches in 3 years of a collegiate career at the University of British Columbia. Shout out to Nicholas Chen, University of British Columbia graduate, and my cousin. Around the bases for the umpires, Koreans Woo Jung Pak, Atsushi Dado, Shimana Takahashi at second, and the crew chief doing the umpiring at third base is Mario Venelcio Tesiseko. All right, now that everybody's been introduced, I think it's about time for baseball. The schedule start for 7 p.m., but my colleagues at the WBSC office said the festivities were too much fun, so we had to push it back 10 minutes. Well, soon when we actually get going, it is about 7:09 local time. There was a strong turnout for the earlier Chinese Taipei versus Korea game that started at 2:30 approximately. But after some of the folks went to have a snack or check out the concourse of festivities and the opening ceremony, of course, I think we have almost everybody back here in field number 1 of the Shaoxing Baseball and Softball Complex, made for the 2023 Asian Games. Looks like everybody's ready for baseball. Number 45, Zhu, will step up to the plate. The center fielder takes a pitch for a strike, and we are indeed off at 7:10 local time. The second pitch, even further wide. We talked about how Shaoxing is making history as the first city to host a WBSC game here in China. But two other items we can check off the list now, put in the history books, because China and Great Britain are participating in the U23 competition for the first time. And you can actually throw in the U18 level as well. It's a 2-1 count. There you see the speed on the bottom of the scorebook. Fans, of course, excited to see red. That's when it's touching the 150 kilometers range. It's a little pink right now. A high fly ball, and ranging over and making the catch in left field is Ray Mercer. From our vantage point here in the Field 1 broadcast booth, we're quite high, so it's very easy to just take a peek over and see what kind of urgency the outfielders are playing with. And Mercer had it all the way, no problem. Wen Bingxing will step up to the plate, the designated hitter for the Chinese lineup. If you're scoring along the game with us, you can put down F7, fly out 7. So that being said, for these two squads participating in big baseball events, actually China and Great Britain did have squads in the 2023 World Baseball Classic. That's right, the big tournament that ends up having a exciting finish in the United States. But I looked it up. These World Cups, that one's fouled back to the screen. These World Cups in the 12-team format has 2 rounds, and then the 2 final games on Championship Sunday for a total of 50 games. That's actually greater total than the World Baseball Classic's 47 games. A pitch inside will bounce away, but no swing by number 43 Xing, so everybody will stay put. So to let you guys know a little bit about myself, I first had the opportunity and the honor to do a WBSC World Cup broadcast in 2022. The host then was Chinese Taipei, and on the island of Taiwan, they split the competition into 2 groups and 2 venues. And in the group I was calling, Germany was in that group, and so they were the number 2 representative out of Europe, and this time it will be Great Britain. A 2-2 count. Let's see what Duthie has for a strikeout pitch. Outside high fastball, which Xing spoils, and it looks like we have a souvenir in the stands. In field 1, the nets go almost all the way up to this kind of boomerang shaped covering here for the audience section, but there's about maybe a 10-foot clearance from the top of the net to the actual top of this covering for the audience section. So some balls could sneak in. We've also seen balls get trapped in parts of the stadium. So the 3-2 offering, line to the left side, and will come down for a base hit. So the honor of having the first base hit at this competition for the China squad is Wen Bingxing. Just to get it in fastball, but again, left it up and across the chest, easy to defend. So the 3rd place hitter, Ming Xuan Zhang, the 3rd baseman, with a man on. A swing, and it's fouled back, I presume. So Duthie featuring a lot of that fastball early on at about 135 to 130. That's in between 84 to 81 miles per hour. If you like the Imperial calculation, that's again fouled back, but into the catcher. But we got a tough one back there, as is all catchers. If you're interested, taking place at the same time is the Puerto Rico-Japan game, where Puerto Rico's jumped out to a 3-run lead on 5 hits. Japan trying to answer back. Jumping out of that one. Zhang waves and misses. There was one of the first breaking balls we've seen out of Duthie. Something akin to a curveball there. Put a K on the line for the Great Britain starter. So cleanup hitter. Number 21, left-handed hitting. Han Guang-ho. But with 2 outs now, Xing at first can get a jump as soon as the pitch is delivered home if contact is made, and that one looks fouled at the plate. So Duthie's been pretty good in terms of keeping it in the strike zone. One thing about these World Baseball Softball Confederation World Cups is that it's kind of a long tournament of 9 days, but you're playing all but that rest day, and so your pitching inventory is quite important. In the early stages, everybody's putting out some of their best guys, and similarly, you probably want to use them 2, if not 3 times over the course of the tournament. Ideally, you get your ace to start 3 games, once here at the group stage, as that one's waved to the right side, but coming in and flipping it over will be the connection between Quinn Irons to Aiden Kane, and the side is retired for China. So Great Britain will take their turn at bat in the bottom of the first, as we are underway here from Shaoxing. Back real quick, we got to introduce the Great Britain lineup. Wallace Clark, Max Vera, James Quinn Irons, Tucker Stockman, Aiden Kane, Jake Lambden, Ben Lead, Ray Mercer, Jaquin Smith, and that'll round out the batting order. Don't say batting order very much after kind of grow older from baseball, certainly after the Little League level. But anyways, enough of the musings. Now time to the Chinese defensive alignment. Wang Guangho in left, Zhu Dongzhu in center, Yi Zhou in right, and on the infield, Mingxuan Zhang on third, Ai Rui Wu at short, Tie Yuan Hu and Yu Yang Li at first. Shuai Wang doing the catching, and the starting pitcher actually came out to the loudest applause in the player introductions. It was Xiang Wang. Actually, it's Xiang Wang, excuse me. And he's notable because actually in last year's World Baseball Classic, He was the starting pitcher in the opening game going up against Shohei Ohtani as a nice sliding catch made in right field. That's Icho. And we have a defensive highlight. I hope the media and social media side of things are paying attention, because it might be early, but we already have a gem out there in the field. So denying Clark a chance to run on the base pass. F9 in my book, and it's getting a star. Well, denied once. Let's see if Max Vera can reach base. Second baseman wearing the number 10 jersey made the last put out for Great Britain in their defensive half of the first. Well, don't ask how Wong did in that game. He walked 6 batters, though the ending scoreline was only 1 earned run, and actually picked off a runner. As you see pumping in there for a strike. So Vera grounds it right back to the pitcher, makes the scoop, and the toss over to first, and a quick 2 outs recorded. Not an easy play with those bounces at the pitcher's mound. Of course, you can get them real hot, but similarly, you get those bouncers that you don't play it just right. It'll end up being a bobble or a drop, as taking a vicious cut was right fielder Quinn Irons. The ball almost looked like it flipped over the bat. That time something off speed, it sneaks in there. A quick 0-2 count. Just staying outside. And trying to go with velocity, but missing. 139 on the gun. That's just touching 87 miles per hour. Trying to go at it again. This time spoiled by Quinn Irons. Now breaking ball in there for strike 3. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Wong as the curveball gets in there. We're trying to find our first run of the ball game. Let's see if China can do it in the top of the second. To try out a British term, it's 0-0 right now after 1 inning of play. As Oliver Duthie will go out for another inning of work, of course. First inning going good, keep him out there. I say so kind of facetiously. It is the opening game for these two teams after all. He also brings a breaking ball in the zone. So the two opposing pitchers, fastball and curveballs. This time going with velocity, 134, and a swing and a miss. Hong Kong Ho looking at that one in the dirt. And again in the dirt, this time chasing, making the throw over to first, and completing the out is Great Britain. So Duthie sticking with his pitch, getting the results he wanted. That'll give way to left-handed hitting Lee, number 54. What's interesting about the Chinese players is that all but one of them have double-digit numbers. Things are really up there in terms of the digits. Just looking at neighboring Australia in terms of alphabetical order, they have 7 players in single digits. Hey, nobody's taken a number 6. That's my favorite. And you jokesters out there could also giggle at the fact they also don't have number 9 taken either. Pitch outside and wide. The 25th pitch coming up for the starter Duthie. That one's bounced, and he will get in front of it. A little underhand scoop pass or a scoop throw. I guess more people call it a toss. I don't know what I was talking about. 2 outs now. Most solid contact of the game is number 43 Xing, who singled to left. Tianyuan Hu choking up on the bat, open stance. I'll take that fastball for a strike. And a quick 0-2. People might think, if you watch a little high-level baseball, that 130s is nothing crazy as just missing the spot. But you got to remember that in a respectful fashion, you could consider a lot of these players still boys, still growing. I remember my college coach saying if any pitcher featured a 93 miles per hour sinker, they really shouldn't be pitching in college. They really should be professional players trying to go for the highest level, Major League Baseball or other high leagues around the world. That's about 150 kilometers per hour to have sink. That's pretty crazy. But like I said, the boys will still grow, and maybe we'll find more velocity, maybe lock in their mechanics for better results. And one thing about this competition is it's U23, so a big gap between the rosters that could be made here and the U18 World Cup. 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. That's 5 years. Looks like it was tapped at the plate. So who will survive to see another pitch? Indeed, it was contact, and a perfect catch, actually. Hit to the left side and making the backhand and throwing on to first. That's Clark with a nice play. So another scoreless inning for China, and we'll be taking a quick break before the bottom of the second. Great Britain coming to the plate. WBSC social media is working while the competition is happening. Follow on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. So the catcher, Tucker Stockman, will take his cuts and right away goes after a low fastball. Already working up quite a bit of a sweat. Understandably, he is wearing the catcher's gear, or as some baseball people like to call it, the tools of ignorance. Ignorance of pain and suffering. One count, bounce to the right side, and it will be foul. So Xiang Wang having a, so far, very efficient outing. But the second inning has only begun, as that one is kind of lofted out there wide. So a very wide range of velocity. 139 at his top, 127 there. That one hit in the air and going straight back, turning around, and it's over his head onto the warning track, and I believe that's bounced over for a ground rule double. Impressive swing of the bat by Stockman. We have seen our shares of doubles in the tournament, but no round trippers yet, at least in the games I have either commentated on or been a spectator for. Center fielder Xu Dongzhu was all twisted up because it was right over his head. Of course, outfielders like to take angles on fly balls, but a dead sprint backwards, uncomfortable. The best at it, of course, passing away this year, was Willie Mays. People ask him if it was his best ever catch. I feel like people need to ask him if it was one of his 10 best catches. Always saying, nah, I've done better. So with no outs, a man on second, first baseman at number 24, Kane, have a wrist opportunity. Runners in scoring position. Quick move to second, but safe. Shortstop came over. Little pulled over, and the Chinese defense against a left-handed hitter. Pitch goes home, and it does not catch a part of the strike zone. Says whole plate umpire Won Jun Pak. Shout out to my colleague, fellow commentator from the U18 tournament, and Wayne, who gave me a great lesson in all the pronunciations of common Korean names, and that was hit on a line to right field, and a way to get it back in quickly by the Chinese defense. So first and third with no outs now. It was something off speed in a okay location up and down wise, but maybe caught too much of the center of the plate. The reach of Lee there at first, not enough. So in a little bit of a pickle. Let's see how the boys in red will align their defense. Their outfielders are rather deep up against third baseman Lambden. But their infielders kind of in double play depth right now as they steal attempt, throw over to home. It's a double steal, and they got one in a rundown. And it's a good defensive play by China as the man on first advances to second, but the man on third is now cut down in that rundown. The biggest thing about double steals is certainly conviction, as that first to second guy was not even gonna get caught in a rundown, but there between third and home, Stockman had nowhere to go. Either there's a lot that could go on in a play. Either he wasn't committed early enough, or maybe Kane could have hung up himself and try to start two rundowns. So just a caught stealing in the scorebook. But it's still another risk opportunity for Landon at the plate. Taking a big hack, and that one's hit high in the air, but making the catch. It'll be a tag play at third as the shortstop makes a diving catch to cut that one off. I'm surprised they didn't line up a double cut. I guess it's a little too far for the second baseman. So 2 outs now, still no score. So Lambden gave it a little bit of a ride, but that exit velocity didn't match up with the launch angle. A little too high. So now with 2 outs, it's up to Benjamin John Lead. Swings and misses. Grounded to the left side, picking it off the ground, and a throw to first in time. Way to stick with it. Ming-Xing Zhang. Put another 0 up on the board for Great Britain. And we're still seeking our first run on the ball game. Take a quick break. Back to the U23 Baseball World Cup in a moment. in the last half inning for Great Britain. 2 hits to lead off the inning, but no runs come across. Tucker Stockman has been featured quite a bit on the broadcast. Certainly has a great profile to be a catcher. Looks very sturdy and strong, and the warm-up throws to second base look crisp. So in the 3rd inning of the ball game, Shuai Wang no matter what the character is, the Mandarin character is, Shuai is the pronunciation for handsome. Maybe his parents are trying to give him a boost. I'm all for it. First pitch strike, as Duthie has been known to do up to this point of the game. Got a great picture going on, so you see the catcher indicating an inside fastball. This is the 5th edition of the U23 Baseball World Cup. That one's actually high and wide. The 2022 edition was won by Japan in Tianmu Baseball Stadium against Chinese Taipei, the host. All the time between Chinese Taipei, Japan, and you can also throw in Korea. Everyone is so strong on the mound, so strong defensively. It always comes down to execution. And to the naysayers of the bunt, kind of a frustrating affair, as I share this opinion that Chinese Taipei hitters have not hit their weight or not hit their weight of victories, and so often they're so overmanaged. Case in point, a certain popular 12-year-old competition of baseball also features too much bunting. Let the boys play. Just like this 3-2 count now. Shuai Wang is the catcher for China. His bat looks nice and lathered up with some kind of sticky substance and tar. It's legal on the bat, as that one's taken high. So the second base runner of the game for China is via the walk. So second time after the first inning that Duthie will have to be pitching out of the stretch. 9th place hitter, Chu Rui. Wu will show bunt and actually hesitate, then actually make contact. Thankfully, it's only the first pitch, and that's part of the reason why baseball insiders like their hitters to be going after first pitches for bunts. 1, it's good for momentum. 2, you might be getting a good pitch to bunt. And 3, if you miss, look at that, got another chance. He takes it back, and smartly, that one's taken for a ball. So if you're just tuning in, wherever you are in the world, thanks for joining this broadcast. It'll give you a very quick summary here in day one. And a bunted foul. Just tucked in a little bit too much with the elbows. Nicaragua, Australia, Korea, and Venezuela are victorious. Every team will play their 5 opponents in the group stage. So, of course, the goal is to win all 5 games of the group stage, and therefore you carry your 2 victories against the fellow teams that you will advance with. So that's good. Fouled off to the left, look out, into the net, and it will find the field. But at the very minimum, you really need 3 wins to stand a good chance and avoid the placement round where teams 7 through 12 will be determined. And because if you make the super round, even if you go over, that's still 6th place. And I will say, no matter if it was the super round or the placement rounds, those games, in my experience, have always been battles. So it's not like the competition just ends there. Of course, every team will still want to even make the bronze medal game if they could out of the super round, despite having an 0-2 start. It's possible if you get 3 wins. Taken for strike 3 on a 140 km/h fastball. Not a lot of fanfare in the stands, but that was perhaps Duthie's best reach back fastball. Back to the top of the lineup with Zhu having flown out to the left fielder. Will drag this bunt, but it pops it up and will fall foul. And it right back to the pitcher. I don't know why, but in baseball, the pitcher and the middle infielders will always gesture and point at each other with their pinky. Now, the reason why they do that is because if you look at the score bug there in the bottom right, it's 1 out. Well, the man on first. So the defense wants to turn a double play or roll a double play, and he's just gesturing, the pitcher is, to which middle infielder he's going to throw to. First baseman reaching to catch and making a nice throw to second for the force out. No double play, but keeping that base runner at first base. 270 is a much bigger number than 180 feet to home plate. So that's 2 away in the inning. FC 3-6. So the only hit so far for the Chinese lineup, Wenbing Xing. Try to work a little 2-out magic right here. A breaking ball doesn't get down enough. Xing stands at 175 centimeters tall. That ties the shortest Chinese player. That would actually be third baseman Zhang Achi. Runner going, popped up in the air. In foul territory, though, as coming over and making the catch there in foul territory is first baseman Kane. So the side is now retired. So the WBSC and Konami Men's Baseball World Ranking, what it does is it takes account the entire national team and their, dare I say, youth tournament performances in all WSC sanctioned international competitions, taking all of those in a 4-year span, of course waiting the more recent competitions to come out with world rankings. And as of September 3rd, right before the tournament started, Great Britain, number 18, China, number 24, and this competition could go a long ways to adding some points. Of course, really the money event is coming up in November, the Premier 12. She hosted across multiple countries, as is kind of the new thing in sports. Twisting around and making an impressive catch out in left field is Wang Guanho, robbing left fielder Mercer of a hit. Yeah, that's a little left fielder on left fielder crime. Decent swing of the bat, just need a little bit of help. Right now, in terms of the wind, it's not going anywhere. Offering a bunt, but the third baseman is in. The strong throw to first is in time. So Jaquan Smith tried to sneak one past the defense. To no avail. Third baseman already not playing that deep. Dutifully coming in and making a good, strong throw. Over there at first base, the run is 177 centimeters, which is about 5'9", so not the tallest player in the world, but I do recall last year one of the more successful first basemen was actually a not super tall Korean player. So it can be done. I'd assume you'd have to pick it really, really good. So back to the top of the lineup, where Wallace Clark will try to get on for his team. Last inning, Great Britain had a leadoff double followed by a single, but they could not cash in a run at all. With 2 outs, the outfield is pretty straight away. Outfielder's actually a few steps deeper, as that one's given a shot down the left field line. If it's fair, it is out, but it looks like it is a foul ball. We have a great view of it from our broadcasting booth. Clark put a real good charge into that ball, but it was tailing left. You know, interesting enough, when I was at field 2 this morning, the wind was blowing from right field to left field. But then at 2:30, when I came to check out the Chinese Taipei Korea game with Tyler on the call, the wind was blowing a little bit in to home plate from the left field side. And these baseball fields are, for the most part, pointed the same direction. Kind of pointing like northeast. And yet different times of the day giving you different winds. And now a full count now. Payoff pitch is half swing and fouled. Conventional wisdom would say players who miss a home run by just a little bit might statistically be not as threatening, but I don't know about this at bat, as Clark sends it to center, but going against the 122 meter part of the yard is a little tougher than 98. So that's the third out. We are scoreless after 3 innings. Clipboards are a very important part of baseball, I'll have you know. Those basketball guys like their fancy iPads. I personally like my my own scorecard that I print out. It's all good. Ming-Xing Zhang will lead things off for China, the third place hitter in their lineup. Here in the fourth inning, facing the Great Britain starter Duthie, who's so far up to this point of the game only allowed 1 walk and 1 base hit. He has struck out 3, including Zhang in the first inning. And quickly down 0-2. Got to make an adjustment. Most of these Chinese hitters step up to the plate and take each pitch with a choked up bat anyways, as that one's fouled back. Just getting a piece of it. If you know your physics, the longer you hold the bat, the more reach you have. I guess that's a little bit more geometry. Well, the reason why you choke up the bat is just to have better reaction to either fastballs or breaking balls. Besides, a shorter bat, you might have better control over making an adjustment over in an inside pitch versus an outside pitch, whereas if you had a bat that you held the full length, you might be able to only target one side of the plate on your timing. Doesn't matter there. Breaking ball is swung on and missed. 4th strikeout of the evening by Duthie. That was on that breaking ball, and Zhang was way ahead of it. You're just reaching out there, but you can't get it. So right fielder Zhou, who so far made the defensive play of the game, will try to get on. I dare say, though, that in my opinion, the best defensive play of the game came in the South Africa-Nicaragua game. A line drive robbed of RBIs. I won't tell you any more detail because you need to go find it on the WBSC social media. It's somewhere there. You'll find it. Our people work hard to put out these highlights. Some people got to watch 2 games at the same time. Some people like me, though, do have 4 eyes. That's a metaphor for glasses. A 1-2 count. We got the massage gun going. Stay loose. You never know who's going to be called for a 0-0 ball game we have. Cleanup hitter Zhou taking that one, but it's been a consistently big strike zone so far in the tournament, especially to the outside part of the plate. Actually gripping a 2-seam fastball and right on a line to that outside target. That's 2. How about a 3rd? Han Kang-ho will take his at bat. Big bounce in the dirt. That's not going to do it. Actually, looked like a sort of change up there with the kind of over the top grip with all 4 of his non-opposable. I was trying to figure out what to say not a thumb. And a swing and a miss at the plate. Back to the fastball. For the trifecta, way out in front. Definitely seems like Duthie is experimenting with this pitch at about 120, 125. It's not the curveball, which we've seen him have good control over. But if maybe we get a closer look, we'll see what's going on. It could be that curveball because I'm only one man. I didn't get that slow-mo. There's the breaking ball and waved at and missed. Okay. Striking out the side is number 7 for Great Britain, Duthie, as his team is looking for their opening game victory against the host, China. Getting a nice and up-close look at the dugouts here in Field 1. Got that artificial turf, artificial rug they're going on the interior. And 2 levels of benches. Outside and inside. Max Anthony Vera will lead things off. The second place hitter grounded out to the pitcher in the first inning. Great Britain up to this point in the game have only reached twice. And one of those base runners was actually, you could say, picked off in a double steal situation. So by that account, Xiang Wang has only faced 10 hitters up to this point in the game, 1 above the minimum. You wouldn't say his stuff is so overpowering, and there he goes, a 4-3 putout. A pretty harmless bouncing ground ball to the right side. As we're learning these lineups, that's Tai Yuan Hu next to Ai Rei Wu, the Wu-Hu middle infield. Let's see if that happens again in the tournament. I sure would like that. Quinn Irons will step up to the plate, take that first pitch for a strike. Struck out swinging into his first plate appearance. Taking a healthy rip there. That was one of Wong's better fastballs at 137 kilometers per hour. It's got a little bit of movement going on there. That just puts the hitter off his perfect rocker. And that time was something off speed. A strikeout again. That's 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th. There you see the Could that be a forkball or something of a curveball? We got some Wangxiang memorabilia, fan items out there in the stands. And feeling it. Almost gets that curveball in. After this fourth inning will be a field maintenance break. And that time going below the zone and missing was Stockman. Seems like Wong is changing the curveball ever so slightly. This time, I don't know if it broke as much as he wanted to, but the hitter's so off balance that he just took that one. Wasn't ready for it, wasn't looking for it. So in the dangerous situation of 1-2, that off-speed pitch misses way wide. Might have just slipped his hand. Stockman has that double in the second inning. Taking another big cut. It'll be fouled back. This morning, the competition started with Nicaragua defeating South Africa 8-1 in their first ever U23 matchup. Also that morning, Australia prevailed over Colombia. Bounce foul and a nice left-handed snag by somebody in the dugout. We sometimes joke that personnel in the dugout, if they get hit by a foul ball, it's a so-called ugly finder, but hey, maybe if you make a nice snag, we got to call it the handsome maker. This time a much softer swing, and it will bounce foul, though the catcher was looking to play it foul. I would say the way the runner didn't even move from the batter's box, you should try to keep it fair and throw him out at first. No matter, 2-2 count. In the early afternoon games, Chinese Taipei scored an early run, but sound defense and really great pitching won the day for Korea. That was a 3-1 finish. And our first high-scoring roller coaster affair, Venezuela scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th to defeat the Netherlands 10-9. That game featured back-to-back 5-run half innings. Oh boy, pitching coaches' nightmares. Full count now as Wong goes to the plate and leaves it high. It will be the first walk of the game for the British lineup. So Aiden Kane, in his time at Delaware, actually has an OPS of .823. That is pretty impressive. Resting the bat on that left shoulder, then taking a big cut. It's going to be between the shortstop and the left field, and the shortstop with a little hop makes the catch. That's 3 down. And time for a little bit of a break. You take a break, as we'll be back with this matchup between China and Great Britain underway here. one of the coolest parts of the broadcast here in Shaoxing. We have the, I believe that's a drone floating over the stadium, but we also have a camera basically pointed straight down from the rafters. Everybody getting a good look at the stadium dimensions, as mentioned before. 98 meters down the left field line, which is about 320 feet. And 122 meters to dead center. That's going to put you just at 400 feet. Same battery, as we might call it, pitcher and catcher combination. As we are still looking for our very first run of the game. It would be, if you didn't know already, the first run for China or Great Britain at the U23 competition. Pretty decent crowd on hand in terms of numbers. The official number will come out close to the end of the game, if not after the game, but I can tell you about 3,500 fans were in the stands for Chinese Taipei versus Korea. I'm sure a lot of the cheering section actually came from the island of Taiwan, bringing some of their cheer instruments and, to me, the very familiar sounds of baseball cheers of the island. Very different from the pro scene, where the CPBL now is such a home and away baseball environment. Every player, every pitcher has their own theme song as a kind of half-hearted wave to spoil that pitch, but now an 0-2 count. The batter is number 54, Yu Yang Li, first baseman and left fielder in this game, playing first. He's also choked up and waving and missing. A long way to go. The long throw is in time. Good job by Tucker Stockman there to stick with the play, delivering a good enough throw over down to first. Left-handed pitcher and then a left-handed hitter. With that breaking stuff, going away from the batter and away from first base, that's kind of the risk you run. So it's now 4 strikeouts in a row. Even the 5, 6, 7 minute break for Philmaine just didn't cool off Duthie. By my count, his 7th strikeout of the ball game. I believe that is field number 2 you're seeing, where my colleague Tyler Mon is on the call, and let's kind of check into what's going on over there. It is 4-0 Puerto Rico. Fastball, dot, or not. It's a 1-1 count. There's a dot. Yep. I would not advise you listen to my takes if you were in need of some fortune telling. I don't get paid to do that. Fell off to the left side and a 2-strike count. Recall in the last inning, Duthie was kind of playing around with a circle change or something in that line of thought, line of pitching. Let's see if he tries to break it out here. 106, I think that was a curveball, and swung and missed. That's 5 in a row. Big breaking ball there. I'm running out of room in my little strikeout box here. If you want to follow along with the statistics of the game, you got to maneuver your way around the WBSC website. That one's hit high in the air, but parking under it and making the catch. Right field is, I believe, Quinn Irons. So that breaks the strikeout streak, but that is now 9 consecutive Chinese hitters who have not been able to reach To the bottom half of the 5th we go. So as to the WSC website, if you go to www.wsc.org, you might be able to maneuver your way to this competition. Of course, check out all the great history, great events, and of course the media assets, photos and videos and such on the website. But if you go even further and find the competition, it's /en/event/2024 -V-U-23-baseball-world-cup. At least if you get that far, I think you're good to go. But I'm already looking at the statistics, and Axel Zapata of Nicaragua, I believe before this game, had the record in terms of strikeouts so far in the tournament with 7. Well, Duthie has reached that mark, as buckled on that breaking ball, but it's out of the zone. Third baseman Lambden flew out to center field on a pretty decent fly ball. Now hit off his shoe. A couple hops and he's ready to go. And in fact, actually did a very disciplined thing in obeying the staying in the box rule, but that's only if you take a pitch. A lot of minute details to the game of baseball that have been implemented in the last, say, 15, 20 years to try to increase the pace of the game. But to another point, the batter's box is big enough. You don't need to be taking a whole stroll through a national park, national forest, just to get ready for an at-bat. The batter's box big enough. Full count now. 56th pitch of Xiang Wang's outing is a little too tight. No, it's just in there for a strike. It's a fastball with some nice run on it, to the liking of home plate umpire Pak. And Wang's got a little ways to go if he wants to catch that number 7. But he's doing just fine, if you ask me. Now up against designated hitter lead. That's on the pitching side. That time it missed the inside part of the plate. On the hitting side, we have a couple of ball players with 3 base hits. Odlenir Matamoros with 3 hits in the early game, as did Blake Cavill. Included a triple too. Oh, I did not see that. As mentioned before, and I am correct by checking out the website, in the first 4 games of the tournament, no homers yet. 2-1 count, up the middle. I think took a deflection. A second baseman throwing it over in time. That's Hu with a little bit of infield magic. And 2 gone. the mound might have had something to do with that play, if not for the pitcher. And such a strong throw. It nearly escaped the outreach of Lee there at first. 8th place hitter Mercer, he takes a strong cut. 136 the velocity, so Wong is still going strong, still going good. And this is not necessarily that big, as the rest of his teammates on the pitching side have not played in the game, but China does play in the afternoon game at 2:30. So typically that might mean some more rest. The shortstop, ooh, making the play, and the split at first. Wow. Great on the front end, great on the back end. Ooh, to Lee. A little 6-3 that deserves a star in your scorecard, as Great Britain is sent down 1-2-3 just like that. So make a great play in the field, lead off the next inning. Chi-Rei Wu, also another example of great defense played by the Chinese team. It all started with a flyout in the very first defensive play for China, made by Yi Zhou in right on the slide going toward his left, and this time it was a long reach and then a good enough throw that talked about. Maybe Lee is not the biggest, tallest first baseman, but able to do the splits, add a little extra range, as you see the appeal there. Back to the fastball and a 2-2 count. So if you're a pitching coach, one of the rules of thumb is that's a hard hit ball right off the fence of the British dugout. The rule of thumb is 15 pitches per inning. And so 6 times 15 is 90. If Duthie can get out of this inning, I'm sure pitching coaches like it to be more like 9 pitches if they could. Well, there's a strikeout on the fastball. You see it. Wu really didn't stand a chance there. His second strikeout. So Duthie has now officially climbed into the leaderboard in terms of strikeouts this tournament in a Hashtag small sample. Now it's interesting. On the other side, you're kind of looking at a line that is so unexpected. Starting pitcher for Japan, Koki Taniwaki, has allowed 7 hits, only 1 walk, but 7 strikeouts. But on the other side, Jorhan Laboy, 5 walks, only 1 hit, and 2 strikeouts. It's kind of hard to explain the situation going on there. Maybe you should tune in and listen to Tyler Mine's assessment as you see the shot to the inner thigh between the legs. Well, Stockman just shaking it off real quick. One out here is the running swing will be hit foul. Leadoff hitting Zhu, doing all he can to get on base. Don't see that very often in baseball because of the velocity, but at the same time, fast pitch softball, sometimes those pitches can get on you so quick. I'm not wondering why girls and boys even try that. That time with his feet set to try to slash at it. The thing about Zhu is he doesn't have that leg kick that I see a lot from the Japanese or sometimes the Taiwanese players who like to slap hit the other side. No, he's got a close stance and just turns his hip, turns his hands. This time pulled to the pull side, and coming in to make the play is Max Vera, 2 away. I wouldn't call that exactly breaking up the strikeout streak because in the last 8 hitters, 6 have struck out. Only hit of the game for the boys in red will be Xing, the designated hitter, popped out in foul territory in the 3rd inning, his last at-bat, but had a single to left center over the shortstop's head, falling in nicely. Great way to start the tournament, but a really great way to start the tournament is to come away with a victory. In the U23 competition, they only play 7 innings. So that means for the visiting Chinese squad, you'll be going into extra inning territory if you don't score and then hold Great Britain in this 6th or the 7th inning. Duthie kind of ramping up and delivering a ball but outside. 3-1 count. Let's see if Xing will let loose a little bit with a attempt for an extra base hit. Do some damage. Nope, takes that one low. And for the first time since the 3rd inning, China has a base runner. It was via the walk. Our video cameras and the producer doing a great job showing off some of the fans in the stands, but they really need something to cheer for. That'll really get the nice footage we're looking for. And looking behind the Great Britain dugout, there seems to be some family, friends, supporters making a long way over. Hey, even if they were in China, I would say this place is so big, you could still come from far away. Ming Xingzang will try to perhaps get an extra base hit of his own. See if they can score that run from first with 2 outs. Like we said in the 1st inning, 2 out jumps. There's a healthy hack. And stuck in the net. You got to be in person to see it. Shaoxing, China is about an hour south of Hangzhou, one of the even bigger cities around, as Shaoxing is home to about 5 million people. That's a pretty impressive steal attempt, and the throw is wide. So a stolen base is now recorded in the debut of the Chinese here in the U23. Belongs to the man who got the first hit, and Xing, excuse me. Well, that'll make the job a little easier for the third place hitting Zhang. No luck on that offering. But that's to the credit of Duthie. He's had these Chinese hitters in 2-strike counts so often in the game that they've been choking up, and maybe they've worked on it a lot, but it seems like not enough. There's a swing and a miss on the fastball. Dotting the outside, not much you can do about it. So one left on, but none come across here in the top of the 6th inning. It's Great Britain and the boys in white's turn to try to take their hacks. Welcome to day 1 of the competition here at the U23 Baseball World Cup, hosted by the WBSC and the Chinese Baseball Association, where the action is taking place in Shaoxing. Jaquan, the 9th place hitter, also wearing number 9, grounded out to the third baseman on a bunt attempt. Takes a rip at it, but pops it up in the infield on the right side, and taking charge and making the catch is Lee. 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, that's why I write in pencil. I wrote down P6 for some reason. That is a P3, guys. Now, given that it is day 1, you kind of want your starters extended if you can. Kai Jackson for Australia, 5 1/3 innings. If you're following along with that game, actually started off a little bit rocky. My new friend and broadcast colleague, Andrew Reynolds, in the broadcast that I was able to catch, said, didn't even think he can make it that far given how he started. That one's hit way high, but it won't go out of the ballpark unless it was foul. So again, Clark giving it a ride, but another foul ball. So he went 5 1/3, did Jackson. For South Africa, Robert White went 5 innings in the loss, but a pretty strong effort, I would say. And his opponent, Axel Zapata, went 5. And Chinese Taipei's Jiahui Zheng went 5 innings as well. Then it tapers off. Netherlands' Pim Bitswinkel. We'll have to work on the pronunciation there. He went 4 innings, then it goes down to the 3s, down to the 2s real quick. Battling with 2 strikes. Clark has flown out to the right fielder on a nice play. and a high fly ball to center field. That left fielder better be ready. He's actually just a pace or two in front of the warning track out there in left, playing very, very deep. Way outside. So we went through the leaders of hits and strikeouts and innings pitched too. Well, Corbin Greenslade leads the field with 10 putouts until Hyunjin Ryu of Korea had 10 putouts. But if you look at assists, actually we also have a tie. Second baseman Odlanir Matamoros of Venezuela and Daniel Castillo of Venezuela, 5 assists apiece. I could talk more about things other than league leaders, as that one is looped into the right center gap for a single. Hey, we got some action going on. That ends a streak of 12 hitless batters by Great Britain with only 1 walk in between. So with 1 out, Max Vieira will try to advance the runner, if not do some damage. Quick motion, but a soft toss over to first. As mentioned in the very top of the broadcast, Xiang Wang did pick off a Japanese base runner in his World Baseball Classic debut. Low one inside. At that time, Xiang was only 19 years of age. His birthday is November 28th. Close, but no, says Pak, the home plate umpire. Now it has been such a offensively lackluster game that an 2-0 count looks like a rally. But if you're Great Britain, you got to start thinking aggressively. Little dance over at first, and Clark slides on back. Some of the kids in the stands trying to give the home team a boost. Hit out to center. It's kind of knuckling, and it's a tough track. Reaching up, and it gone. Say hello to the first home run and say goodbye to the baseball. Max Vieira goes deep, and we have a run and make it 2. So for Great Britain, those hits are coming in bunches, and he hit that one so hard. Like I said, it was knuckling on the way out to center. I thought that would be the biggest trouble for the center fielder, but no. He took a leap, hung on the top of the fence, and I don't know how close he came, but look at the fastball over the plate, and Vieira took a mighty cut at it. Just like I said, maybe advancing the runner wasn't all he was thinking about in that 2-0 count. Actually, the wall is so high, I don't know if Zhu stood a great chance, but he gave it his all. Now with a 2 runs to 0 lead, let's see what Quinn Irons can do if he's made an adjustment. Maybe he can take some inspiration, as Vieira hadn't reached base before that home run. Outside pitch, high, but coming in on it and making the catch is right fielder Zhou. We have a triple and we have a home run in the tournament. All right, checking all off on our baseball bingo cards. 2 away now for the catcher Stockman in the dirt. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen on your scorecards when you have a quick score like a home run. So in the top of the 7th, China will have 4, 5, 6 coming to the plate. That's Zhou, Ho, and Lee. Scooped up but fouled. '80th pitch coming up for Wong, who's done an admirable job as the opening game starter. Not too far away, but a 3-1 count. We'll see if Great Britain goes to the bullpen or sticks with Duthie. This one possibly playable, but end up hitting the net. And now stuck. Feature of the ballpark has kind of got that outlying scoop. From that angle, you could tell that the ballpark was made all on that big wide surface, and that's where they built the fence, that's where they built the dugout on top of, creating a lot of auxiliary space. As on the off-speed pitch, a swing and a miss. That'll end the inning, but not before Great Britain gets on the board thanks to Bye Bye Baby by second baseman Vera, and Great Britain will have a chance to notch the win in the top of the 7th. Well, if you've been paying attention all along, you were rewarded with the first home run of the 2024 U23 Baseball World Cup. Tournament hashtag is Baseball World Cup U23. Oh, I got it backwards. I'll fix that from now on. After a few deep breaths, Oliver Duthie is back out on the bump. Looking ahead to tomorrow, China will play against world number 1 Japan right here at field number 1. And Great Britain will be over on field number 2 against Colombia, also at 2:30. So, relatively speaking, a quick turnaround. Don't expect these two pitchers to be back in action. No changes though, at least not with the first hitter. Yitzo will try to get on and see if somebody behind him can get this ball game tied up. At least that's how home run hitting or home run advocates would be talking about the strategy. Starting things off with a fastball hitting the outside corner. But he's still only allowed the one hit, so challenging the zone is not a bad idea. In fact, he's actually issued a couple of walks. Not to say that's a big demerit on his performance, just almost amazement at how well he's done up to this point. 1-1 count, straight into the dirt. Again, it's that. Seems like sometimes if he misses, he does miss. What was that, 15 feet in front of the plate? That kind of looked like a fastball. He was struggling with that changeup before. Going back to the fastball, grounding it to the right side, charging, and now making the glove flip is Max Vera. Had the home run, and now a nice play in the field, making the connection with Aiden Kane there at first. A very crucial first out recorded here in the top of the seventh, the final half inning for China to try to tie the game up. Looks like we have a pinch hitter. If it's number 16, that should be Ke Yu Lin, listed at center fielder on the media guide here. Looking at it, a breaking ball for first pitch strike. And another merciless. That time going to the fastball, but sticking with that inside location. So he's seen a couple. What he's got for the payoff pitch. Stockman, a nice pick there behind the plate. So really the first substitute in the game for both teams is a pinch hitter. Top of the seventh. Oh, did it hit him? I think it did. However you do it, just get on base. To catching the right hamstring of Lin. You can see how strong his legs look, even with those kind of baggy pants. Now number 37, also a pinch hitter. That's Zhang, giving it a ride and into no man's land and missing it on the difficult diving attempt. The bench mob is doing work. There you see the nice effort out there at short by Clark. I believe number 3 going out there for Great Britain is their manager, Jonathan Cramman. And that'll be the pitching change, but Duthie can be really proud of his outing. 6 1/3 innings. His team off to a great start. Coaches, players on the bench, all lining up to greet him back in the dugout. So we got to turn our attention to the new pitcher in the game. If it's number 13, according to my notes, that's Samuel Clark Hutchinson. Left-handed pitcher. Let's try to get the job done. And looking down at the on-deck circle for China, these jerseys are very hard to see the numbers of. They're red, and the number has a rather thin yellow outline. Very modern looking, but not exactly the most practical situation. So things getting a little tense here in the top of the 7th, as expected. Teams always put up a great fight in that last half inning, or at least in theory they would. It's the end of the ball game after all. No sense like the present. And only with 1 out, Hu Tianyuan actually could represent the walk-off run. Shall he cross the plate? First pitch at 139. Plenty of velocity from Hutchinson. Runners taking their secondary lead, nothing more. As it evens the count at 1-1. A short swing, hit out into center, ranging over and missing it. The ball will be cut off by the right fielder. We have kind of a logjam at third. Run 1 will score, but the second is cut down. Just 15 feet behind was too much. As Great Britain recovers after the missed catch out in center. End up at least cutting down that tying run. The batter ended up at third base. As you see, not used to the night conditions yet is Smith, misplaying it. Looking up at the scoreboard, they've recorded that as a base hit. Usually I'm a little bit harsher on the defense, but I would tend to agree with that one. You can't catch what you can't see. So coming in with hard stuff, but Hutchinson also providing that power. So the tying run now at third, and nothing else but the tying run. Winning run at the plate, possible winning run at the plate. So Duffy will be charged with an earned run there. But Great Britain's really concerned about getting this final out. Outside. It's recorded as a double. Thinking about it, but holding up. A walk would not be the end of the world here, because all that matters is the runner on third. Batter already ready. Now Hutchinson kicks and fires, getting a strike up to a full count. The home run sure sent a jolt through the stadium in terms of maybe amazement, but the real excitement is happening right here in the top of the 7th. Full count, spoiling it to the right side. Got a battle on our hands. Another foul ball to the right side, that time on an inside pitch. By the scorebook, Hutchinson has put one away, though realistically he allowed the double and the defense did the work. Way out in front and a walk. So the possible winning run is now on board. Wu Qirei or Qirei Wu, per the International Athletics Competition pronunciation guide. Looks at a first pitch ball. So lots, I wouldn't say all, but lots and lots of momentum on the side of China. That's a double and a walk allowed by Hutchinson. But one out is all he needs. The bouncer to the left side, and we are tied up. That time the short stroke of the Chinese hitters has paid off. A little bit elevated too, making the job easier. Now that run will go on Hutchinson. Just a fastball that was middle. Nothing to do but swing at it. Now a short one, and everybody will be safe. The pendulum swing all the way for red. The outfielders are not playing that deep, but a perfect drag bunt there by center fielder Xu Dongzhu. And this place is ready to erupt in victory. But the situation really remains the same. You just need one out. Perhaps a little bit of a confidence boost. Maybe one tip about the scouting report, because China's most dangerous hitter is now coming to the plate. Wen Bingxing, the veteran, with the bases loaded, nowhere to go. His first pitch is going to prove very important. Getting it in there for a strike. Took a little bit off the fastball, but had much better location with it. This camera angle is actually below us. Getting a look at the defensive alignment. Straight away, popped up. First baseman, Kane, settling under it. So finally, Great Britain retires the side, but not before China plates two and ties it up. We're heading to the bottom of the seventh. To put up one more zero and send us to extra innings. Number 42, the starting pitcher Wong is still out there, while Great Britain will be sending up their 5, 6, 7 hitters. So Oliver Duthie's night is over. 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. As a reminder, that is now the new leader in the current edition of the U23 World Cup. First pitch strike against first baseman Kane. Sure, the Chinese fan wouldn't want anything less than him to drop that one. Scooping it to center and arranging over to make the catch is second baseman Tie Yuan Hu. Sniffing that base hit, but to no avail. You see Kane taking a little bit off that swing, and not to his fault. It was a decently struck ball. It's going to get an L4 in my book. So third baseman Lambden, he'll try. Flew out and struck out. Back the bottom of the order for Great Britain, starting with Lambden, has not reached yet. Now would be a great time to start. Let's see about the defensive alignment if we get the chance, but a 2-0 fastball is in there. So a swap at the corners of the infields. As the long throw and another split. So far, turning in one of the best first base performances of the game, of the day. Yu Yang Lee helping out his third baseman there. Cut down that time. In fact, it wasn't even that close. It was 2 steps the gap. Boy, I bet he does some yoga. Benjamin Lee now with 2 outs. Making contact, but foul. So besides the swap at the corners, left fielder for left fielder. So Lin is now out there way deep for his teammate Ho. Trying to send it to extra innings. Fouled back. Clearly, Wong's stuff is not nearly as impressive as early in the game, but I feel like his effectiveness is almost better. Did give up that home run, but besides that and that kind of looping single by Clark, I wouldn't consider it hard contact. That one's good technique to be lined in the center, but there might be a little bit of a crack in the perfection. Two outs, man on, representing the possible winning run for Great Britain. Mercer, flied out and grounded out. Looks at a 1-0 strike. On the night, 5 hits for Great Britain. Both of their runs came in the bottom of the 6th on the home run. Then China answered with 2 in the top of the 7th. Scooping it up. A fly ball into the gap, but still hanging up. And in on the field for, after pinch hitting, is Lin making the catch. So great day for baseball. Can't just end there. It's 2-2, tied up after 7. Time to strategize. We're into extras in this Baseball World Cup U23 game between the debut of China and Great Britain. Let's take a break and see who will come out on top. Boy, do the new kids know how to dial up the excitement. After being scoreless for the first 5.5 innings, four runs kind of spoiled the last 6 outs if you're a defensive-minded fan. So now into extras. Ming Xuan Zhang will be at with a man on 2nd and 1st. Struck out in all 3 of his plate appearances. Doesn't want the golden sombrero, as Mike Krukow would call it. Showing the bunt and popping it up over the catcher's head. If you look out onto the base path, it should be number 45 leadoff hitter Zhu at 2nd and Xing at 1st. So the jackrabbits, so to speak, on the base pass. A description of how jumpy or how nimble they want to be on the run. Despite an 0-2 count, still showing bunt. Over the head and Bast. Got to get back to it as the runners will advance. And now with 2nd and 3rd no outs, the game has changed. There you see the ball getting away. And nothing that Stockman could do back there. Number 18 out on the bump is Jonathan Taylor. "21-year-old, born in the United States of America," as is a number of his fellow Great Britain teammates. A good breaking ball, swing and a miss. And it looks like we actually have a count situation, so that wasn't the 3rd strike. Second chance for Zhang, trying to make his mark on the game. He thought about it, but that one's in the left-handed hitter's box, even up at 2. Full count, first base is open as that one is taken high. Now China is the visiting team, so they want to pour in as many runs as they can. Nothing better than bases loaded, no outs. Sans if you're a Giants fan. Ugh, shiver. Concerned about the big board that's turned off. I guess we didn't pay our electric bills in that area. Now they got to reset. Number 55. So, trying to get that score. Breaking ball buckling him, but called for a strike. All kinds of mechanics were broken down there. I hope that's a signal, but maybe it is. This time he offers at it, kind of similar location with a touch more velocity. So Taylor in the driver's seat in this at-bat would like an unproductive out, strikeout or a pop-up. There's a ground ball to the right side. First baseman goes home, stepping on first for the out. Throw to first. The second baseman covering and making the catch, but not for the out. That's one away. Good defense there by Great Britain. Talk about unproductive outs. It technically counts, but certainly had some nerves of the coaching staff. There you see Vieira very wisely making the secure catch and not keeping hold of the bag. So FC 3-2 in my book. Still a chance to get ahead of the game. First pitch for a ball. These jerseys are killing me. Corner into the big board. It's number 16, Lin, at the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the last inning. Trying to take a cut this one. Buckles out a breaking ball, but again outside. Taylor's not too far from the strike zone. Just got to put it one more inch closer. Inside location. Swung on, hit high into the gap. Parking under it. And making the catch and left is Mercer as the run will score. And from second to third is Zhang. So China takes the lead on the sacrifice fly by substitute off the bench in the last inning, Lin. He also made an important catch to finish that last half inning for Great Britain. SF7, 1 RBI. But still a chance to do more damage. Way outside. This should also be the substitute pinch hitter, now third baseman, Zhang. Zhang Aichi. Choked up even before 2 strikes. Bounces it the other way, and it will be through. Another one will come across for China. It's a party down there on the first base side. Starting to see that these relievers for Great Britain are just putting a lot of balls in the middle of the zone, and China with that choked up approach for almost all their hitters, it's really making their job very easy. Now men at second and first, but with 2 outs and 2 runs across. Tian Yuan Hu had the double that really popped things off in the top of the 7th. There's kind of a half swing through the ball. Yes, I'm telling you, solid wood baseball bats go through baseballs. It happens. 0-2 count, 1 to get out of here. Have a slide piece to the back foot, no good. If you're looking ahead for Great Britain, 9, 1, and 2. That would be Smith, Clark, and Vera. Their lone run production from the top of the lineup. Trying that wide location. Not meant to be. I would say decent execution there by Taylor. This one hitting the gap in right center, coming over and seeing it fall as 1 run will score. And the hitter reaching second, it's another double. Tian Yuan Hu is the power for China. He might have given up a home run to cede the lead to Great Britain to start the game, but this Chinese squad is living up to that expectation their manager set to come out and win ball games. The score now 5-2. I'm having trouble keeping up with my scorebook. Trying the best I can. It's number 52, Wong at the plate to really crush any hopes of a comeback. Got to fix our score bug there. Nobody's on first base. Middle location. Did he go? No, says the first base umpire, Atsushi Dado. Taylor kind of turning red in the face. It's supposed to be about high 20s right now, and the humidity actually increases as the temperature drops here in Shaoxing. Too wide. Taylor will kick and deliver high. Again, setting up middle location and waving at it. For strike 3 is Wong. But not before 3 come across the plate for China as they hold a commanding lead over Great Britain. But they will have first and second in the bottom of the 8th. I think we figured out who is the horse of the U23 Baseball World Cup. That's that man right there. Xiang Wang trying to shut the door down and get the victory. A complete game if he can do it. I think he should get extra credit for even being in the driver's seat with a 3-run lead, but man, on first and second, this is also a safe situation. It would be with nobody on anyways. But that's besides the point. Andrew Johnston, as indicated by our graphics card, bunted to the left side and in time with the throw. A great bunt, but a great execution of defense there. Number 9 is actually Jaquan Smith. So 2-man advance. And I believe the first sack bunt officially of the game. As mentioned, Clark followed by Vieira coming up. So far, Xiang Wang has not done anything wrong here in the 8th, but still faces a big task. 2 runs in a scoring position. Sky to the right side will be in foul territory, but it looks like it is out of play. First baseman Zhang giving chase. Starting at third base of the start of the game. Made the move over in the bottom of the 7th after China had a couple of pinch hitters. One of them is also Zhang, but that's Anqi Zhang. Oh, Aiqi Zhang, excuse me. For the foul ball, the only strike in the at-bat. Setting up just a little bit on the outside location. Dangerous pitch going to the left side, making a sliding catch and a good throw over to first. No, safe is the call. I'd really have the intuition that China might want to challenge that call at first base. It was certainly close, not a great throw. Zhang Mingxian making a great effort, and probably we need to not forget the effort by Zhang Aiqi there at third. At least 1 run will come across. No matter if it's a hit or a ground out. Tricky hop there. So the 4 umpires are out all in the field, so it is not going to be challenged. And by that, oh, actually, in a rare occasion there, it's called a throwing error. So make sure that goes to Zhang. They're at third base, excuse me. God, it's getting too late, guys. So 8 bot throw. First pitch strike, good start on the breaking ball. Now with 1 out, it's a double play situation. Certainly be the easiest. Hu is a little bit closer to second. Now Wu joins him. Double play depth. Grounded to the left side. Zhang on it, stepping on third. The throw over to first, not in time. Crucial second out on the inning recorded. Again, Zhang Aiqi doing work over there. Might have been charged with an error, but he's made 2 pretty tough plays. FC 5U as should have been a... I must be missing something. Well, I figured that out. Quinn Irons, now with 2 outs, needs to keep the rally going. Get on base any way you can. Bounce to the left side. Zhang with more work, stepping on third, and that's the ball game. Five to 3 is the finish, and not a walk-off hit, but a valiant defensive stand by China in extra innings, only giving up the 1 run. And what kind of looms large is the sacrifice bunt. Seeding in out, and you saw the end. 2 tough ground outs ended the game just like that. But it was really a pretty exciting game starting in the 6th inning, and 2 programs I would say are still building up and still improving, so there's no shame in the fight that Great Britain showed throughout the game. They certainly had their horse, and Duthie turned in an excellent performance, but on the other side, the team will get all the credit, and on this broadcast, you will hear me sing the praises of Wang Xiang, number 42, who ends up with the complete game victory, officially giving up 2 runs that are earned, 3 that were overall, including the one in the extra inning 8th. There you see the hustle. It was a pretty close play by Clark's slide, but talk about putting things together. Zhang Anqi came in, got a base hit, and made 3 plays out in the field, 2 for the crucial outs, and 1 that could have ended the game even sooner. I think it's about time that we start wrapping things up. The final of the game, China 5 runs on 7 hits. They had an error. Great Britain had 3 runs on 5 hits. The winning pitcher is Xiang Wang with 8 innings pitched, had 4 strikeouts. A lot of heroes in this game, and boy, that just makes me so excited for tomorrow. I'll be starting the action off at 10 a.m., but if you're fans of these 2 teams, China at 2:30 against world number 1 Japan, and Great Britain 2:30 against Colombia. There's the final line on the game, and I think it's about it. I'm Ryan Chen on behalf of all the staff at the World Baseball Softball Confederation, the local organizing committee, and our broadcast partners and sponsors. Thank you for taking in the ball game with us, and we'll see you in the next one.